National headlines. A woman in northern Colorado arrested, placed in a police cruiser parked on some train tracks.
And then a fucking train hit it.
And then a train smashed into the car with the suspect in the back. Well, today one of those officers charged for his handling of the arrest was in court for the first time. Our Dylan Thomas has more from Weld County. 4 months to the day after.
And can we appreciate all the fucking sleeve tattoos? They used to say you could tell gang affiliation by all the tattoos. Well, never mind.
A woman was handcuffed and left in the back of a police car that was parked on train tracks.
Train tracks. He said he didn't know he was parked on train tracks. A sign here and a sign here. And I don't know the fucking tracks.
The officer who allegedly left her in that car on the
Allegedly left her in the car?
tracks was in court. Platteville Police Sergeant Pablo Vasquez was in court Tuesday morning facing charges of reckless endangerment.
And can we appreciate all this fucking shit?
Obstructing highway or other passageway, careless driving, and parking where prohibited. All of the charges stem from September 17th. Vasquez was stopping Yareni Rios-Gonzalez on reports of road rage and...
Here he is, here his car is, and there are the railroad tracks, and there's a sign, you can't see it because it's fat ass. On the other side of him, there's a sign that says railroad track. Crossing.
Possible possession of a firearm. She pulled over just be...
And then this one, there's railroad tracks there? Yeah, you're actually standing on them, and there's a fucking sign for the railroad tracks. There he is. There she is.
On the train tracks, and Sergeant Vasquez stopped his squad car on the tracks. Rios-Gonzalez was detained on the tracks, then placed in handcuffs.
Now, can we see where she's standing? It might clip past. There's the railroad tracks right there. She's literally standing on the railroad tracks. She is right in front of them. The tracks are right there.
Cuffs and into the back of Vasquez's police vehicle while he helped search her car. Moments later, you hear a train honking its horn repetitively.
Oh shit, here comes a train. Oh my god, that can't be good, right? Signs right there, railroad crossing.
But by the time Vasquez and another officer noticed, it was too late. Miraculously, Rios-Gonzalez survived the crash, but had to be hospitalized for weeks. The other officer charged was Fort Lupton officer Jordan Steinke, who faces charges of criminal attempt to commit manslaughter, second-degree assault, and reckless endangerment, charges arguably more severe than that of Sergeant Vasquez. The judge ordered Vasquez to not harass, influence, or contact others involved in the court process.
Have to tell cops not to harass people.
I'm Dylan Thomas, covering Colorado First.
We start with breaking news. First at 4, Fort Lupton police officer Jordan Steinke has been found guilty of 2 charges. That includes reckless endangerment for putting a handcuffed woman in a patrol car parked across railroad tracks.
And that woman was left with serious injuries after a train ended up hitting that patrol car. A train engineer said after the collision, it still took about 3/4 of a mile for the train to come to a complete stop. There was no jury in Steinke's trial. Instead, a judge listened to the evidence and issued that verdict.
Judge decided to issue the verdict. So, she'll probably get paid administrative leave, and before you know it, she'll be back out there putting people in a cruiser on railroad tracks again.
A Platteville police sergeant who parked his patrol car on train tracks last month was labeled incompetent by officers at his previous department.
Incompetent, of course he is.
That's from internal investigation documents uncovered by CBS 4 investigator Brian Moss. And Brian, you were able to get hold of internal investigations by the Federal Heights Police Department.
The reason we did that is because Federal Heights was the last department that Vasquez worked at before he went to Platteville. These internal affairs investigations we're talking about suggest there were numerous concerns about Vasquez's abilities as a police officer. Platteville.
Can we start, I don't know, shaving once in a while? That'd be great. And learn what a railroad track is. Maybe lay off the donuts.
Police Sergeant Pablo Vasquez had stopped a road rage suspect last month. and parked his police vehicle on railroad tracks. Another officer put the handcuffed suspect into Vasquez's car, and it was promptly hit by a freight train. The suspect received serious injuries, but survived. At Vasquez's previous department, Federal Heights, fellow officers there had called Vasquez incompetent.
Incompetent?
Another said Vasquez operates with a lack of care for his own safety.
Doesn't even care about his own safety. You think he's going to care about your safety? No.
Safety and the safety of his officers.
Safety of his officers, the Thin Blue Line gang. They're not his officers, they're taxpayers' officers.
A Federal Heights commander recommended Vasquez be demoted. Platteville police then hired the sergeant. Platteville's police
Then hired the sergeant. I didn't know I was on railroad tracks. I'm sorry. Wasn't my fault. The fuck you think that is?
chief has not said what he knew about Vasquez's background.
What he knew about his back. How did you not know everything about his background? Because they don't check.
When he hired him. The initial investigation into this incident by the Colorado Bureau of Investigation wrapped up this week. Now it's in the hands of Weld County prosecutors. The Weld County DA will decide if Vasquez or any of the other officers involved in this incident will face any charges. And we'll certainly keep on top of that. And to date, Officer Vasquez and his attorney have not discussed what we've been uncovering.
All right, an ongoing story. We'll look for more. It's pulled over Yareni Rios after a man.
Didn't know I was on. I know I keep saying it, but he didn't know he's on the railroad track. Sorry.
And claimed she pointed a gun at him during a road rage incident.
Keep your hands above your head.
Don't move. After they put her in a police car parked on train tracks. A train hit the police vehicle.
How dare that train show up on some damn train tracks?
With Rios inside.
She's hit by a train.
She survived with numerous broken bones. As she recovered, prosecutors still charged her with felony menacing for the road rage allegation.
Here's your gun.
Rios.
They still charged her. She lived. They can get more money out of her. She died. Oh well. Better luck next time, guys. She lived, so she gets to pay to be on probation, and she gets to pay for all these fucking shit ton of classes they're gonna make her go through, because they can get more money out of her.
Pleaded no contest to a lesser misdemeanor last week and got unsupervised probation.
If she does all the things she's supposed to, there are a lot of classes she has to do.
A lot of classes she has to do. She can give the government more money.
Then the case will be entirely dismissed.
9 News legal analyst Scott Robinson calls the plea deal a big win for Rios, who avoids a felony.
Avoids a felony, but still gets to pay him a shit ton of money. They should have dropped all the charges.
He also calls what the judge did in the case highly unusual. We've obtained a transcript in which Judge Vicente Vigil gave a lengthy apology to Rios for the train collision. Judge Vigil said, in part, "It's clear to me that the system failed with respect to you, with respect to that. I hope things are going better for you now. And so I just wanted to express to you, I'm really, really sorry that happened. No one should be in that position from my perspective. Just incredibly reckless, negligent, stupid behavior, however you want to put it."
It's extraordinarily rare for a judge to apologize ever. Once in a while on a
It is.
dismissal
It is. Government always covers for government.
on a case that should never have been filed, the judge might say a few words of apologetic nature, but like this is an unusual situation.
The police officers who arrested Rios that night are still facing their own
Sergeant, Mr. I don't show you don't give a shit.
criminal charges. A lawsuit Rios filed against them is still pending.
And quite frankly, it's the kind of situation that if you wrote about it in a book, no one would believe that the police officer would leave his squad car on a railroad crossing.
I reached out to Judge Vigil for comment about his unusual apology, but state rules don't allow judges to comment on cases that could be appealed. The judge said much more in court. You can read the whole thing. We'll have that shortly on 9news.com. In the meantime, Rios continues to go through physical therapy after suffering with numerous broken ribs, a broken chest, broken leg, broken, ribs, and skull fracture, brain damage. The injuries are just, seem to be endless here. She's still going through physical therapy.
So what the judge said today is important, but it may prove to be even more important when civil litigation hits, because there are several lawsuits that are still coming, and that may be a part of what happens in those cases.
Potentially. I mean, that was said in the public hearing, in the public record. I mean, the judge adds credence to the case, so we'll see what happens with their civil case.
I'd imagine that we'll see some sort of resolution to her civil case here this year sometime in the next few months.
I'd imagine she's going to get a shit ton of money.
So, yeah.
She's a young woman and a mom.
Yeah, she's taking care of a toddler amid all of this. Imagine sitting at home trying to figure out how to walk again,
Imagine having to pay for daycare so you can take a bunch of bullshit classes to pay the government more money.
Through physical therapy, mental health therapy, because she is traumatized by this incident, and having to be a mom to a toddler.
Yeah. All right, Jeremy, thanks.